Hey everybody, welcome to the 30th episode. Wow, the 30th episode of the IntelleXual podcast. This is the second part of the Megan Hayes discussion, and it's hilarious. I said before, and if you listen to part one, Megan Hayes is an absolute riot to spend time with and hang out with, and we had so much fun. The interview went way past an hour. So here's the second part. In this part, we talk about everything from being in theater, which is something that Megan and Brian and myself all share as a common experience, to falling down on stage, and the perils of lighting a pale-skinned woman, which is something that Megan gets to experience often. We talk about how much fun she had wearing a onesie on Hunger Games Catching Fire, and we of course talk a little bit about what it's like to be around Jennifer Lawrence, and she's such a cool person. She spends a lot of time working with a couple of charities, Blessing in a Backpack, which is amazing, and she's also the ambassador for another charity called Planet.eco. And she talks at great length about both of those. And then there's a huge chunk of this episode that is literally her talking with us about the never-ending hilarity that is the fart. Yeah, you heard it. Farts are funny. And we also talk about the fart's slightly less funny cousin, the burp. So sit back, grab yourself a cold drink, and enjoy this incredibly funny and totally cool discussion with Megan Hayes on the 30th episode of the IntelleXual podcast. Boy, I gotta try and remember to tell people to keep quiet in the background when I record these things. You're listening to the IntelleXual Network at theintellectual.com. And now, the IntelleXual Podcast. Yeah, we go way back.
I love that. So you guys have been in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the first time I met Brian, he was just a voice on a headset.
In the theater department.
Yeah. I was working on Ice Fishing in America, right? The play. And
I had taken a semester
or the
off
Ice
of
Fishing
school.
play.
What's your favorite? Oh, so did you guys both do plays?
Yeah, we did plays.
What's your favorite play you've ever worked on?
I've ever worked on?
Uh-huh.
Or
musical?
Arcadia.
Oh, that's a good one. Tom Stoppard, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We
Nice.
did it here, in 99, maybe 2000. I lived in San Diego. We did it at North Coast Repertory Theater. And it was new. It was fresh. And it was ridiculous.
Yeah, that Tom Stoppard is so smart.
Because I do the lighting and the sound and stuff like that. And I was the master electrician. So this hand was my lighting hand, and this hand was my sound hand.
So you do it all. Oh, my God.
You're like, go cue for lighting, go sound.
Calling your own cues.
I had 3 CD players, 2 actual tape decks, and this would have to go, and then this one would have to go, and then I'd have to fade over to that speaker. And
oh my God, that's awesome!
And it was just crazy all night.
That's so good.
I should have said a whole run was crazy, but that was my favorite.
That's a good show. I remember when I had a play that I wrote that was produced in New York, and someone as a joke found, I guess it may have been the New Yorker, I can't remember what magazine, that it had the top 10 things warnings you don't want to see when you go into a theater. The warning, this play contains, gunshots or whatever. One of them was warning, Tom Stoppard found this play confusing. Isn't that great? That's my favorite. Another one was warning, this play contains nudity and by the person you would last want to see naked. All stuff like that. It was great.
That's hilarious.
But the Tom Stoppard one was my favorite one.
That
Found this play confusing.
my favorite play that I worked on was a high school. We did Noises Off.
Oh, I did that. I love that show. Who were you?
I was in charge of the set and the props.
Oh, God, that must have been fun. And
you got a revolving set, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, well,
That's what you do, right? It's usually always revolving.
My high school, the theater was a theater in the round, and what they'd done is just basically taken the walls out of 4 classrooms and turned these 4 classrooms into a theater in the round. So the stage was just the normal floor, but it was the middle of these 4 rooms, and then the seating was 3/4 of the way around that.
Right.
And then the teacher's desk and the backstage was behind a drape. And we're doing noises off in a one-story theater.
That show is so good.
We had to figure out how to make a second story on the set, and then have to figure out how to make it all turn. And I had this crew, like nine people. I recruited a bunch of guys from the from the soccer team and the football team, and we literally had to push these pieces of set with no wheels, no track.
Oh my God, no track,
on
nothing?
A carpeted stage, and fling all three pieces of set around. And then,
did you have like a half-hour intermission?
Well, what ended up happening
back in an hour,
is we played music, and because there was no curtain to hide the stage,
right?
So at the 2 intermissions where the set flips around and the props are all changed, everybody just sat and watched us work.
That's kind of cool, though.
And so we had this whole it was kind of like the Benny Hill music, you know. We had that going while we were all doing the job, you know. And every night, I was trying to get us to get it done faster. And so, you know, it was like sitting there and just cracking the whip and trying to get everybody to go. So that was, for me, one of the most challenging and one of the most entertaining and fun things I've done in the theater. And we got to do our own curtain call at the end of the show every night.
Oh, nice.
And we got standing O's every night.
Oh, because you did an awesome curtain call. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And there was like 400 props that had to come
Of
off
course,
and on.
that show is
know.
so difficult,
Yeah.
technically.
And we had amazing actors in my high school. Those kids pulled off that show like I wouldn't have even dreamed.
And it really is a hard show, but it is, when it's done well, it is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I did
and
it.
the movie is awesome.
You know, I've never seen the movie. Did they do a good job?
Yeah, Christopher Reeve, John Ritter,
Carol Burnett, Nicolette Sheridan.
Yeah, it's you should watch it.
Yeah, I will. That was the part I played. Nicolette Sheridan's part. Brooke Vicky, the one who's in her underwear, that was me.
Yeah.
That's what it's funny. And in Atlanta, I at least once a year appear in a play in my underwear, which is a great way to stay in shape. Because if you're gonna have, you're like, well, here it comes. Here's that one time. So yeah, here I come.
Sorry, I'm a little lost now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I'm trying not to look at your eyes for a minute.
But Noises Off is I think one of the funniest farces ever.
Oh, I love that.
And Lend Me a Tenor, which I did too, which I love. You seen that one?
Mm-hmm.
Lend Me a Tenor. Oh my God, that one is so funny. Yeah. I can't. That might be. I did that a couple years ago. That might be one of my favorites. It's in my top 5 for sure plays I've ever done.
Brian also worked at the Old Globe Theater in San Diego for a while.
Oh, how was that?
And he worked on Romeo and Juliet, starring Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, was he amazing? He's wonderful.
I when I first came out in '98, I was doing theater stuff, and so I decided that's what brought me out here was Dave. He's like, "Dude, come out here. Theater opportunities are great." So I'm like, "Okay." Came out, called, didn't even send a resume or anything. Called up the Old Globe Theater. Yeah, can I speak to the technical director? They're like, yeah, we got technical director. Yeah, hi, my name's Brian. I'm new to the area. I like theater. Can I come work for you?
And they were like, yeah, okay.
Okay, sure. Send us over, your resume. And I'm like, okay. So I sent him a resume, and then that afternoon, he called me and said, you want to work in the shop? It only pays, this much an hour, and you'll basically be doing grunt work, but it'll get you a start. And I'm like, sure. So within a week later, I was started in the shop.
It's awesome.
And I was literally a brace. I mean, I held stuff while guys did stuff.
Yeah.
We're talking full-blown building stages.
Huge,
yeah. Working on The Grinch Stole Christmas.
The Grinch Stole Christmas. The first time they did that which had for a theatrical play, I mean, this was way out of my league, but haven't ever done anything this size. The set budget was $1.5 million.
Holy crap!
For a play. And so,
oh my God!
Yeah, and I remember we did.
Wow! I just am we got $200. Dallas, we got a Dallas Buyers Club situation on our hands for set.
$250,
$250 and some cornstarch from Matthew McConaughey's cupboard.
Make sure you save all those screws when they take that flat down.
Yeah. But that was an interesting situation. I was there about 6 months, and it was so advanced for what I was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, especially for the shop work.
It's so cool, though. That's that theater has such an amazing reputation. That and La Jolla down there, the Playhouse down there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was really proud of Brian when he went down there to work.
That's awesome.
Just to I'm like, hey, can I have a job? Sure, here you go.
I love that you just called the guy. Because, you make that joke, like, yeah, I'll get on the phone and call the guy. And he totally did, and he got a job. That's him. Yeah, I'm going to call the guy.
I keep telling a lot of my friends, because they're like, man, there's no work out there. I can't find any work. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing to find your job? Well, I got my resume up on Monster, and I've posted here, and I've posted that. And I'm like, have you gone and knocked on any doors? Or
maybe that's what I need to do.
They're like, no. And I'm like, go knock on somebody's door, for crying out loud. What are you doing? Like...
Okay.
Everybody can send an email.
Should I knock on Gingy Cohen's door? Yes. Yes.
Well, what's the worst that happens?
Nefarious plan.
Go away. That's
already it's already planted seed of nefarious plan. Hey, Miss Cohen. You don't know me, but I know you.
All right.
Yeah.
So your charity, Blessings in a Backpack, is that right?
Yeah, and I'm also an ambassador for Planet.eco as well. So
tell us about that.
That's basically they're trying to like the .orgs, the .coms. They're starting a .eco, which is any companies that have a .eco, you can know that they are environmentally friendly, which is really cool. It makes things, searching for things, so much easier if you want an environmentally friendly company. Done. That's all you got to do.
Do you see Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple? Did you see what he said at the recent shareholders?
No.
Somebody from one of these like conservative think tank groups that's an investor in Apple was asking him about all their green initiatives, because they're building solar panels on the new campus, and Apple goes to great lengths to try and get the green standards on everything. Mm-hmm. The guy's like, we shouldn't be spending so much money on all this green stuff, and if it doesn't meet the bottom line, money shouldn't be devoted to it. And Tim Cook looked at him and said, at Apple, we do things that are right, whether it costs us money or makes us money or not. And if all you're interested in is profit margins and you're not worried about doing what's right, then this is not the stock for you. And I suggest you get out.
Oh, that's great. Well, I mean, when I heard you talking about what the guy said, I would be like, I'm sorry, but the bottom line should be the earth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be here long after us. Please, let's not poop on it. So, yeah. But yeah, no, they're wonderful. The gal, Nicole is amazing. And yeah. So basically it's like, hey, get on board. If you need to it's a great way to find, if you want to find eco-friendly places, it's the best, awesome way. Like I do, there's a Gnarly Whale is this vegan beauty product. They're amazing. Like
I've heard of that.
They're awesome. I actually got a gift of their like hair thing in like a hair product. Their Beach Waves at the gifting suite when I went to the Golden Globes, and I was like so in love with it. And then they sent me a bunch of stuff. But like they're very vegan. All their products are vegan. All no animal testing, and I think that's just amazing. And it's to me that's important to know the sources of where and then you have to pass in order to become a .eco. You have to there's certain standards, and you can't just say, hey, I'm eco-friendly. Don't pay no attention to like everything behind the clear curtain, So yeah, you have to have there's certain standards to be able to qualify for it.
And what was that website?
It's planet.eco.
Planet.eco.
But basically, it's like you can be a .eco, like as opposed to a .com or a .org. That way, if you're searching for anything, if you see that it's a .eco, you can be like, oh well, they're environmentally friendly. Awesome, perfect. I'm going to hire them, please, for the thing that I need stuff that I want. Yes, that was so eloquent. Planet.eco is going to be like, stuff, Megan, stuff. And then
I talked about you. Jeez. Gosh.
No, they're actually, the two charities that I work.
Well, you put on the elegant voice for umami.
I know, right? Umami burger. But no, the two charities that I do work with are really I'm with them because I believe in them. It's not like, hey, just check it out and check me out. Like Blessings in a Backpack is awesome. I went last month, and next week I'm trying to go once a month until the end of the school year. But did we talk about this at the?
We talked a little bit at the red carpet.
So basically, the whole premise is like, a lot of kids, elementary school students, like their last meal on Friday at the cafeteria at their school is their last meal for the weekend, which is like horrible, So what Blessings in a Backpack does is they provide the backpack, And then they will, on a Friday, they go and the kids will go and they pick up their food for the weekend. So they're fed for the weekend. And since it's
so great.
It's amazing. Like I cannot even begin to tell you, I just went to the one school, the Normandy school, which is here down in LA. And just from top to bottom, from like Brooke Weisman, the CEO, but to everyone, all the volunteers that I worked with the 2 days that I helped pack and distribute, everybody is so nice, and like all they want is just to help the kids, and it's just to be able, and that's a no-brainer, like feeding kids who are like, no one should be hungry, especially kids. And all the statistics are showing that the kids at Blessings in a Backpack is helping, their test scores are improving, their health is improving, and I mean, it's kind of amazing. Like, you should be fed. That's a bottom line. Like I said to Brooke, I was like, the Hunger Games, like hunger should only happen in the movies, and that's it. The best part too is when I went to, the Wednesday I went, we packed everything, and then Friday, I handed out everything to all the kids, and 2 kids, maybe 3, at least 2 kids were like, "Are you Katniss?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not."
No, but I helped her survive.
I did. If it wasn't for me. Well, her bestie would be dead, okay?
Right.
If it wasn't for a lot of people, who are we kidding? PETA gets saved by so many people.
Well, here's a question about your character. What was your character's name?
The Morphling. She didn't have a name.
Okay.
I mean,
you came up with.
Oh no, I came up with it. Hey,
I
y'all.
came up with a name.
I came up with a name all by myself, y'all. Yeah, no, I named her myself. Like I named her Deirdre. So, but
Deirdre.
Yeah, well, it means sorrow, and I
actually knew a Deirdre when we were in Waco.
I actually knew a Deirdre that I went to elementary school with, and she was born on April Fool's Day.
Oh no!
Best. No, if I ever get married, I want to get married on April Fool's Day. Oh, yeah? Yes.
You're a lot of fun.
And at the reception, this is what I want. Don't tell anybody who's listening. At the reception, I want to put whoopee cushions under all the seats, so when everybody sits, it makes a big fart noise.
Awesome.
Is that mature? No.
Awesome.
Megan, will you marry me?
Yes. Yes, I will. Can we register at Toys R Us for Star Wars action figures?
Oh, hell yes.
Yes.
The more you talk, the more it sounds like a perfect idea.
It was seriously, wouldn't that be great? Like whoopee cushions? I'm kind of spoiling it, but
We won't tell
maybe people will forget by the time.
We'll just beep over those sections in this. So.
But could you imagine though, like sitting down at a wedding reception and being like, that would be so
I can just picture 300 people all sitting at the same time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because farts are always funny. Always funny. I laugh.
Never not funny.
Even in the bath. In the men's room where it's okay, they're still funny.
They're still hilarious, yeah. And dog farts are really funny.
Like, dude.
Like, what is going on over there? Yeah, they're always funny. And dog farts are funny, too.
You remember Dave Ballbaum in Waco? Mm-hmm. His little beagle? He'd just walk in a room, he'd look at you, and he'd walk out. About 20 seconds later, he'd be like, oh, dude!
Oh, the ones that clear a room, yeah. My roommate has a boxer, and we have stairs in our apartment, and like there'll be times when she'll walk up, like every stair, it's like.
It's like my mom.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the best fart story ever. My dad died, and we're at the viewing, and everybody's crying, and it's very emotional, and it's super sad. And my parents have been divorced for about 20 years at this point, but
right.
they had finally come to a point where they were friends again.
Oh, that's good.
A couple years before he passed, and so everyone's crying. We're all in the back of the viewing room, and we're watching this slideshow that I had put together, that Brian had put together, and we're all kind of quietly sobbing together. And my mom walks up to my dad's casket, I believe with her brother in tow, and they're doing whatever they're doing up there, and my mom's like, oh, Mick, why? And she bends down to give him a kiss on the forehead and just rips the loudest fart you've ever heard.
She's had to lean up against the casket.
In an otherwise quiet room, you know, with just, you hear that going on in corners of the room, and then all of a sudden you hear,
No.
And my mom goes,
Everybody- Everybody was still for about 3 seconds.
Yeah, it was 3 seconds of dead silence in the room, and then everybody's laughing.
See, that's like the universe handing you a little like levity gift.
The funeral director's like, well, this is a lively crowd. I
Oh my God! How could you not laugh? How could you not?
was like, my dad would have loved that. It would have been like right up his alley.
He would have been like, perfect.
And,
That's
and,
right.
and it was perfect that it was my mother that did that.
Oh, my God,
Because
I
she
love it.
used to do the Dutch oven to him.
No, she did not.
Oh, yeah, all the time. I remember
my
hearing
God.
from my bedroom, oh, damn it, load up.
Dutch ovens are kind of hilarious.
Oh, so funny.
But disgusting, but hilarious. I mean, like, I wouldn't want to be the recipient of a Dutch oven. And actually, no, the other day, or maybe sometime in the last month, I can't remember where I was, but someone said something about a Dutch oven, and I went, who doesn't love a Dutch oven? And I was kidding, and everyone in the room turned and looked at me like, what is wrong with you?
Always funny.
Oh, they're always funny. Always. My favorite, too, is when dogs, my roommate's dog will do this too, like when like they'll fart, but then they'll have to like sniff their butt to make sure, like, was that me?
Was that me?
Like, hey, well, who? Oh, that was. I'm just checking, just making sure that was me. Yep, that was me.
Did y'all see another dog go by?
I did that.
My favorite is always when you ask someone, you're like, did you fart? You're like, no, that wasn't me. Like,
No.
It takes them a few seconds. They're like, did I?
Hi, why would it take you? Like, wouldn't you know? Do you not have control of your bowels to know that was you?
His 4-year-old, who I adore, my nephew Sean, he's the cutest kid on the planet, but his farts are starting to smell really bad.
Oh,
and he's enjoying farting.
Oh, yeah, that's never
He's a little boy.
good. He's a boy.
He's a little boy, and he's enjoying farting. And he does it to his mom every time she goes to pick him up.
Oh my God! And I love that when you can do that. I can't do that noise. I can't do it. I don't love
You
it.
need bigger lips.
Do you? Well, not a fart, but I have a good burping story.
Okay.
Would you like to hear? And it's not the same as a farting story.
Burps are not quite as funny.
No, they're not.
But they're still funny.
But they still are funny. So I'm not good at eating before performing, so I try not to. I usually eat after. And so, but I was doing the show back in Atlanta, and we had matinee and 2 show days. So my friend came to see it, and she's like, "Hey, let's go to Applebee's for dinner." And I'm like, "Okay," in between shows. So I go and I eat like a Caesar salad. I'm trying to eat light. I'm trying to be conscientious. It still proves disastrous because they're in the second show. In the first scene I'm in, my boyfriend proposes to me, and he opens up the ring, and opens up the box, and I'm supposed to go, "Oh," and he goes, "So you like it?" Okay, so that night he opens up the box, and instead of me going, "Oh," a burp unfurled from my mouth, and like the look on his face, he was like, "So you
Is that a yes?"
like it?" Like, and then he and I like started to die laughing. Like, there's nothing else you could do but just, go with it. It was, oh my God, yeah. So I cannot eat before. I get too nervous. Nope.
So funny.
Inevitably, I will, and also on set, it's funny. Inevitably, after lunch or dinner, I will be up next for something. That's always like I'll be like, as soon as the meal is over, they're like, "Megan, we need you to set to act your hardest right now with a full stomach. Don't die." Even if I try to plan it.
So when you have to do an underwear scene, do you just like not eat for like a week?
No, I do. Well, yes. No, I do. I don't. I eat after the show usually. I'm usually like ravenous after the play, which isn't conducive for good eating habits to eat late at night.
No, but it sounds really sexy.
It's yeah. Let's go eat some big plate of pasta, right? Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
She's ravenous.
I'm ravenous after a play for food, but yeah. Because you usually work. I work up like a giant appetite, because you burn so it's such an adrenaline
Especially
rush.
if you didn't eat before, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I was telling you, I acted in that play, Accidental Death of an Anarchist at Baylor. I wore a 3-piece suit through the whole play. I put on all that weight, and I sweat through the entire suit every night, all the way to the jacket. The jacket was just soaking wet. It was the funniest thing. A couple nights they videotaped, and you could watch the back of my jacket go from a normal brown to almost looking black, like every night, every single night.
I've done that.
And one night my mustache flew off. That was
Oh my
that was
God, that's
interesting. I had a little
good.
Hitler mustache glued on.
Oh, and it fell off.
And I'm in the middle of like being all pissed off. It's like the climax of the play, and I'm handcuffed to this like coat rack, and I'm like, "You son of a bitch!" Blah blah blah. Poof.
Oh my God, did you die laughing?
It's flying off at the audience, and I stare at it, and as it goes down, and I look up at the audience, and luckily this is the type of play where you talk to the audience and stuff, so you break the fourth wall.
Perfect,
so it wasn't too bad, and I looked at the thing, and I looked at the audience, and I turned to the character I was screaming at, and I'm like, "You pissed me off so much, my mustache has flown off," and the whole place just broke up laughing. It was so much fun.
I think stage mistakes are usually amazing. They're always fun to watch. I remember I did a show in Atlanta where it was like a series of vignettes. It was there was a theater company called Jewish Theater of the South. They're no more, but and we all played different characters. And this one guy was Santa Claus in one scene, and in the very next scene, he was like a Jew. Well, he played a Jewish guy with like the tallis and a yarmulke and everything. Like it's an Orthodox, I think, scene in an Orthodox temple. Well, one night during the show, he forgot to take off his Santa Claus pants.
Oh, no.
And he came on stage as Santa Claus from the waist down and like Orthodox Jew from the waist up. And I was the first person to see it, and he heard me laughing because he had to sit like in front of me like 4 feet, and he said he was like, I was so paranoid. I'm like, is she laughing about me? That's how neurotic I was. But then I looked down and I'm like, oh no, she is laughing at me because
it's legitimate.
I am a walking blasphemy right now. Yeah.
Hoi, hoi, hoi.
Oh my God, exactly. Hoi, hoi, hoi. Oh my God, with the Santa pants on. Oh God, it was great. It was one of my favorite moments ever.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I love watching mistakes on stage. It's really kind of amazing.
Well, I think a lot of people go to the theater hoping that something like that happens.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
mean, live anything. We like watching people fall on their face. I mean, it's just truth, right? I mean,
Yeah.
It's on videos.
Yeah.
Wiffle ball back to the groin is like the funniest thing ever.
Is it? It sounds horrible.
No matter how many times they show that on that show.
Right, watching, true. Oh, I've fallen down on stage. I was in a production of Hair in New York, and like I did all this I was one of the dancers, and I did all this acrobatic, crazy stuff, and then I had to like walk down stage and introduce myself and walk off, and I face planted. I'm like, hey, I'm Cecilia, and I'm like,
you know who else has done that? Your girl Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh my God, did you guys twice now?
Yeah, she fell coming out of the car.
She also fell down on set one day too. It was so hilarious, and like it was when we were shooting with Stanley Tucci, the interviews, and she came up. Well, you said she comes up that really steep ramp, but that ramp was, I think, really slick. When we're all standing up high watching the action down below, and one take, she comes in that huge ball like wedding gown, and just it looked like it was slow motion. She like fell down face first. Her hand went like that, and then because it was a ramp, she like slid down the ramp like a foot. And we were all like, but everybody was like, oh. And then of course she ends up laughing her ass off because
I love the footage of her falling out of the car at the Academy Awards.
Like, I love
because she's totally like clawing
the girl in front of her because that's what you do. And that woman is like, what the hell is happening? Yeah, it's kind of great.
I love that Ellen called her out on it when she got in too.
Oh, she did it.
The opening of the show. Yeah, the whole opening monologue.
Oh, that's right. She was like, oh yeah.
Like, oh, and Jennifer, we won't talk about you falling down last year.
Right.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
She fell down last year.
Yeah, no, that was hilarious.
She also fell down coming out of the car.
Yeah, we'll show it. No, we won't show it. That's right. I thought you meant she was calling her out about grabbing the girl in front of her because that was pretty great. She did fall down last year. Yeah. Did you see those what was it like I volunteerist trip? And then like it's her falling, like not the whole tribute. It's just I volunteers trip, and then it's like her falling. Yeah, I love that though because I'm such a clumsy person by nature. I fall down all the time. I spill food on myself. I went to an audition a couple months ago. I had like water drooled on myself, and I walk in like drool down my shirt. I'm like, so that kind of she gives me gives me hope that clumsiness can be adorable rather than tragic and lonely. Because I'm super clumsy and I fall down all the time. So,
am I clumsy? No. Is anybody in Laura's clumsy? It's an actress thing.
Maybe.
Is it? Okay. Yeah.
Well, as techs, we always used to joke around that the talent couldn't be left alone in the dark backstage because they were sure to fall down.
Okay, that's accurate. That's why you have to glow tape the shit out of everything. And even still, I'm
Even
like,
still,
where's the glow tape?
recharge that glow tape. It's too dim.
No one charged it tonight. I can't see. Yeah, it's pretty much accurate. That's why I've never not understood, like, not being nice to crew, because, like, they own your life. You know, they are responsible for your life.
Well, and I always tell my actresses, I'm like, whoever your DP is, flirt like crazy with your DP, because your DP is the person who's going to make you look amazing on screen
or terrible.
Not amazing on screen.
Yeah.
And if your DP's in love with you, you're going to look amazing.
Flirt with the DP. That's hilarious. Oh, speaking of which, when I did Shot Plus One, we were getting my close up, and the DP who did was the DP for The Master also, he comes up to me and he's like, just like this close to me, and he's like just staring at me, and I'm like thinking to myself, he needs another light, because they always have to extra light me because I'm so fair. I'm like, in 5 seconds he's gonna call for another light, and then when you know, he's like, I need a blah blah blah, and like, if they bring another light, I just look at him and I'm like, everybody has to extra light me because I'm so pale. Yeah. So
That's hilarious.
did you guys see that movie?
No.
I'd say it was fun. It was horror. Do you like horror movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm
My
not.
wife doesn't, so I don't.
Yeah, I played a crackhead in it, or meth addict, so that was fun. My second, The Hunger Games and this movie, I was my second drug addict. Two drug addicts last year. I kind of hope that's my new like niche.
Hey.
If I played drug addict, I'd be pretty happy playing drug addicts the rest of my life.
Could do worse.
It's so much fun. I mean, it's so fun.
Well, you were saying you like getting done down for roles.
Yes. I remember, like, we had in the makeup trailer, they had all our headshots up, and I remember V. Neal went over to who's like the coolest lady ever, the makeup artist for Hunger Games. Nicoletta and V were just like amazing. So she goes over and has to get something out of the cabinet that my picture's behind, and she just looks at my headshot for a second, and she's like, Megan, you're so pretty. What are we doing to you? And I'm like, I know. And then the big joke was, like, every time they'd make me look terrible, I would always say, oh my God, this is like the best day ever. So V would start saying, like, best day ever, you know. Oh, and the track, you didn't see them in the movie, but they painted like these elaborate track marks on my, like, Requiem for a Dream, nasty track marks. And then, oh, this is a good story. They were waterproof, you know, so they were like, hey, are you, and it took, you know, about an hour and a half to do. And they were like, hey, are you going anywhere or going out for anything in the next few nights? I'm like, no problem. Like, do you mind keeping, and all we have to do is touch them up. And I said, that is no problem at all. Okay, so I remember, except for one day, and I go to Publix, which is a grocery store. So I go to the grocery store, and I remember I had a short sleeve shirt on because all of a sudden it was a, you know, warm day in Atlanta, because that's what happens. And I'd forgotten I had track marks on my arms, and I reach over to grab a bunch of grapes, and I look over, and there is a man with his daughter, like, shielding her and, like, looking at me in horror. And I can't even, like, stop I just ran away. I was like, oh. I wanted to
Which made you look even more
even
like
worse. Like, I was, like, lifting the grapes. I wanted to be like, junkies eat too. Or maybe actually they don't really, because that's the point. But yeah, I was so embarrassed. I was like, I can't even explain myself out of this.
Oh, the life of an actress.
It's great.
At Comic-Con last year, I watched Face Off. Do you watch that?
Oh my God, amazing.
I love that show. And so I was at Comic-Con last year, and first, I didn't go up to any celebrities or anything like that for any pictures, except for Glenn. And I saw him on, like, we'll say, like,
nice.
Thursday, and walked up to him like, can I get a picture with you? And
yeah, you did.
And then the next day, him and V were waiting for a bus outside, and I walked up to him, and I felt bad because I went up, and I'm like, V, can I get a picture with you? And I look over, and Glenn's standing next to her, and I'm like, I already have a picture with you.
Yes.
And she's like,
hell to hell with you, man.
Yeah, I got a picture with you.
Dude, V is like, well, and Nicoletta, they were like, I just love those ladies so much. And they're so good at what they do. And oh God, they would play classic rock when in the trailer, and we had so much, because and that was the thing, is it took forever for me to die. I remember like it took a month, because, you know, I, for whatever reason, and like towards the end there, like I would walk in, and because it took forever to do my makeup, and I'd walk in and V would be like, really? And I remember just one day I walked in, and she looked in, and she was like, fuck you and the horse you rode in on. I'm like, I'm sorry. I love that woman with all my heart. They're amazing. And she did Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh my God.
Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, all that incredible stuff. I have to say, I was kind of hoping that they would get nominated for. I would have gotten nominated for makeup for Catching Fire, or costume too. I was surprised about both of those, but what can you do? What you gonna do?
It's a lot of choices every
There
year.
are so many choices, and I guess I'm slightly biased because
One last question.
Yes,
what
sir.
was the jumpsuit like? Was it comfortable? Or was it not comfortable?
Well, it's a onesie. You know who looks good in a onesie?
Babies.
Babies. That is it. Babies and Jennifer Lawrence. Like I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, I can't with this. What was really, no, it was super comfortable. And and I had a special one. Like I had the normal black one that everybody wore. And then when they had painted one, like they took a picture of a banyan tree and painted the outfit to match the banyan. Then I had my own jumpsuit that was banyan tree camouflage, and then they painted me to match the outfit.
I was watching it with my cousin Eric. He's like, "What was it? Was there a girl in there?"
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, it's funny. The timing of that was like really challenging. To like I had to like open my eyes, see, and go. Like it was broken down into like 3 very specific moments that I had to hit fast, but
very precise,
very precisely. Yeah. But it was it was really comfortable. I do remember though going for my first wardrobe fitting, where they put me in a unitard, like a black unitard, so I look like I'm this like Martha Graham wannabe modern dancer. And by the way, I know exactly. I'm like,
welcome to Sprockets.
And it was totally Sprockets. And also, by the way, I'm maybe like 2 weeks into the diet, so nothing has shrunk except my boobs. It's the first thing to go when you lose weight. You're like,
sad.
I'd already lost like an inch, and I'm like, are you kidding me? When they were measuring me. And so... But the best was when I didn't like. There was also 2 weeks or like a week where because I had to report my weight loss every week, and there was a week where I didn't lose any weight, and I just remember like crying and being like, I'm never gonna make it. Like, I hate you, Hunger Games. I'm never gonna make 105 pounds. Like sobbing on the scale, which is not fun. But I'm in a unitard, looking like a Martha Graham dancer, reject, and they measure like every inch of me, and they're like, okay, this will be great for your I was like, so your unitard. I can't remember what they called it. Not unitard, but not jumper. I can't remember exactly what they first called it before we even saw what it was, because everything was it was top secret even to us for a minute.
Right.
And I was like, so is that the costume that I'm going to wear underneath my costume? And she's like, no, that is going to be your costume. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. But we all wore it together. And no, they were super comfortable. Super, super comfortable. Flattering?
Not so much.
Not so much, but comfortable, yes.
Well, nothing about your role in that was flattering from a look standpoint.
No, that's what I loved about it. So again, I loved it.
See, I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, God. That's like when I get the reaping. I don't know if you can see, but I know you see the circles under my eyes, but like they painted like a giant old cold sore on my mouth. It was awesome. It was so good.
Yeah.
And I had jacked up teeth.
Yeah.
It was great.
My cousin's like, that's who you're interviewing? I'm like, yeah. His first response was, she doesn't say anything in the movie. I'm like, well, she whimpers and dies, which is pretty cool. And he's like, tell me she doesn't look like that in real life.
She
I'm like,
does.
No,
exactly like that. God bless her heart. It's very... She only gets a couple of roles a decade, but those roles are epic. She's going to be Pennsatucky. Like, see, that's why I want to be Pennsatucky, right? Pennsatucky needs a new bestie. She's going to live, right? She has to live. She's going to. I looked on IMDb, and she's in 24 episodes, it says. Right? You don't know. We don't know. If she dies,
you can't trust anything on IMDb.
You can't. No, you can't. Well, if she dies, though,
Piper not as reliable as Wikipedia these days.
No, that's true. But if she dies, Piper is in so much trouble. Like she's going away for good, to jail for life, right? Yeah. Hey, no, but maybe they're like, hey, we're gonna be aired forever, so let's throw her away for life right now. So
I just saw a show that was Big Bang Theory was just re-upped for 3 more seasons.
Seriously?
8, 9, and 10.
That's
I love
awesome.
That show.
It's a good one.
They keep finding new ways to be funny.
Which I think is amazing because usually it seems like after 7, that's kind of like the kiss. That's like That's pretty much the end.
It's rare that they make it past 7.
Yeah.
But some do. Friends did.
How I Met Your Mother's in its 10th season.
Is it?
Friends made it through 10 seasons. It was great.
Sitcoms, I think, have a better chance of 10 seasons than hour-longs do.
I don't know. You got what? Not NCIS, but
CSI.
And all the
NCIS, I think, is in their like 8th season, aren't they? Yeah.
And
Law and Order.
Law and Order, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, Law and Order just kind of went on and on and on and on and on and on.
I guess procedurals.
But the only way
procedurals
that
are
works, though,
formulaic.
is they cycle out characters.
Yeah.
You know, like Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, true. There's so many new people on it now.
There's so many new people on it now. And, like, what's her name? Michelle Yeoh. She's... Christina Yang. She's leaving the show at the end of this season. So, you know, that's how those shows continue on.
Right. Yeah.
What about TV? You looking to get into TV?
Oh, I
You're
would
writing
love.
a pilot.
I'd love to be in TV. That's that would be ideal. Just be like a series regular on something would be awesome.
Have a steady job for a little while.
Yeah, or just to me, TV is like the perfect to be a series regular or recurring would be like I would think, I could be wrong, but would be like the perfect blend of theater and film, because you're playing the same character, but it's not the same storyline, you know. But in theater, you're playing the same character every night, so you get to like kind of mine that aspect and that perspective. But you get the best of both worlds, because then you have different situations every week. I think that'd be awesome.
You really get to get into a character.
Yeah, and different storylines, different arcs, and it's fun to see what. Characters change, you know.
It seems like so many actors that you talk to that are in a series for a long period of time that, yes, it's the writers that created the series and stuff, but after so long, it's the actor that brings a lot of the stuff to the character and goes to the actors and says, or goes to the writers.
The writers start writing to the
right, exactly. Or if you like have the luxury of having brilliant writers, you're like, I can't wait to see what happens. I mean, obviously, depending on the show you're on, that could, you know, what is it? The Sopranos. Everyone was like every other week, oh, well, I'm done, you know, because I'm dead now. Like at the table read, they would find out or something.
Lost was the same way.
Yeah, but like, I mean, but it's great to see how characters evolve. Like, I don't know if you guys do Downton Abbey, but you know, Edith's character on Downton Abbey is like really transformed and done, or even the guy Healy on Orange Is the New Black. Was he not the warden? He's not the warden, but he's one
of the guards.
But to see that that turn for him to be very milk toast at the beginning and then very just awful at the end. It's kind of dark, and I'd be so excited to see where things go. This is why we have to have a part 2, because we need to discuss House of Cards, because there is a twist.
The opening was a pretty big deal from what I read.
The first episode of the second season? Yeah. Oh, it's gigantic.
Yeah.
But it's so you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Or like I loved watching not that I'm not like slightly in love with the guy who plays Peter Russo, because I kind of am, but like his whole journey is like from cleaning up, like from being the drug addict to cleaning up and trying to fly right, and then there's relapse, and then it's just such a great arc. I just think, and then being able to do that under the realm of like one character.
Yeah. If
it was a great story, I think that'd be awesome. I mean, I love doing all of it, really, and I've never done anything recurring on television. I've just been, a guest star. Well, no, that's not true. I was a series regular on an Adult Swim show, and that was so fun.
Which show was that?
The Restless Bell.
Okay.
It was about, we did 4 episodes. It was about seniors in high school, all played by inappropriately aged people. So I was Pepper Stokes, the slutty valedictorian, whose mom was a hooker. So yeah, so she like didn't want to like live the path of her mom, so she became valedictorian. But then almost gets kicked out for caught smoking pot, and trouble ensues. But other than that, I haven't really done anything that's like recurring. But to me, it seems like it would be the best blend of theater and film. Mm-hmm. But I honestly, I love doing all of it. People ask me which I prefer, and to me, it's less about the medium and more about like the story and the character I get to play. And so it doesn't, because there's wonderful things about everything. Like theater's wonderful because you got that whole,
it's an instant gratification with the audience,
right? Or loneliness.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like there's nothing worse than doing a farce and that night that no one laughs, and you're like
the afternoon matinee for the blue hairs.
Yeah, the lonely day. But at the same time, it's such it's a relationship. It's kind of I know it's the same show every night, but it's never the same show every night.
Because the audience laughs at different things on different nights. And
different things happen, and it's just wonderful. And then, on camera stuff is so I love too because it's so intimate, and it can be just so small. Everything can be just really really, really vulnerable. It's all vulnerable, but you know what I mean. But I'm always just drawn to what's a great story and what's, if the part I have is helping to. That's why, I know my part's really small on Catching Fire, but it's like such a cool part of the story. You know what I mean? It's such a cool part.
Yeah,
I love it. So, and I don't believe in like small parts, and I've never like desired to. I love to be a series regular on a TV show, and I would love to be, the supporting. I've always wanted to be like, when I think of templates of like actors whose careers I really love, like Allison Janney is like my first. God, I love her, and she was older when she got West Wing, and and I just think, and she can do funny, and she can do serious, and she's just amazing. But like I always wanted to be like that, and she's not a household name. She is kind of, I guess,
she
but
is,
she's
she
not.
Is now.
More.
But
she's on the West Wing for crying out loud.
That's true. And she like slammed. God, how many Emmys did she win? A bunch, but several. But but I also like the idea of I've always wanted. I think I've said this before. Like I want to be the person in the movie that like comes into the movie for like 10 minutes, and you're like, oh my God, I love her. What's her name? I don't know. What is her? I don't know, but I love her.
She was in that one movie. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Philip Seymour Hoffman was like that. Like before Capote, you're like, oh my God, the redheaded guy, Scotty J. The awkward guy from Boogie Nights, the fucking idiot guy. You're like, oh, I love him. I didn't know he was in this.
Almost Famous. He was in that too.
Oh yeah, Lester Bangs, Twister.
Yeah.
It goes on and on.
Our buddy Carl bought me a book for, I think it was my birthday, maybe 2 years ago, and it's a little book. It's like a little pocket-sized book, but it's, hey, I think I know that guy, or some title like that, and it's literally a book full of all the character actors that you've seen a million times,
everything.
But you don't remember their name.
I think someone was telling me about.
Hey, I know that guy. That's what it is.
Hey, there's a documentary that one of my friends was posted on my Facebook wall saying you should watch this because I've always said I want to do it. And it's called like The Guy in That Thing. Yeah. And you're like, oh, that's what I want to be. And then I remember I went to do this workshop out here where they do like a branding kind of like archetype of like what actors are you similar to, and I remember he assigned me, the guy conducting the workshop assigned me all these actresses, and I was like, who the hell are these women? And then I go home and IMDb them, and they're like exactly what I want. They're like they have been in everything. Everything. I'm like, I didn't know who. It's embarrassing, but I didn't know who like Thelma Ritter was, and then I'm like, oh my God, she's in Rear Window and about last night, about All About Eve. I was like, what? That is a very different movie.
Not the same thing.
More?
And they just did a remake of it about last night. Yeah. All About Eve, but whole different movie. But so it's just really, that's kind of the template I want. So, but yeah, would I love to be on TV? Yeah. Especially if it's something, really worthwhile. That would be awesome.
Cool. Well, I think you're going to end up being a 3-part podcast.
Oh my God, I know. Did I totally just talk your head off?
Because we're in hour 46 right
Shut
now.
up! Oh my God. Oh yeah, you can like edit
You're going to dominate
No,
a
we
week.
don't edit.
You don't edit at all?
We try not
okay.
to, yeah.
Yay.
So you're going to dominate like a week. You're going to have a Monday and a Thursday.
Yay! Okay, and you guys, I got all the links, right, sent to me and my assistant, right? So
Yeah, you'll get everything once.
Yeah, we'll blast it like crazy, for sure. And we'll keep doing that. Like we do is we kind of like, we'll blast it for a bit, and then like as it then stop for a minute, and then like bring it back, Girl's got to tweet. Yeah. Girl has got to tweet.
Maybe that's what we'll call the episode.
Girl's got to tweet.
Girl got to tweet.
Exactly.
Y'all.
Hey, y'all. Oh my God, y'all. I named it myself, y'all.
Megan, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun, you guys.
And we're definitely going to go hiking.
Oh, yeah.
And go to Disneyland.
Yes, and first we'll be hiking because it'll be early May, and then whenever you guys want to do Disneyland.
Oh, we
can you guys do weekdays?
Yeah, we generally don't do Disneyland during the summer though, because there's just no point.
Okay.
Crowds are like
let's go
crazy.
when there's like not going to be a crowd.
Yeah, so we're hitting spring break now, so sometime in May actually probably be a good.
That
time.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, we can go for my birthday. There we go.
That's right.
Celebrate my birthday
And yours
with Megan
too.
Hayes, y'all.
And yours too. His right.
And my sister Teresa's on the 25th.
Perfect.
And then a week later.
It's like 3 weeks in a row of
Perfect.
birthdays.
I'm July, but that's a little late in the game to get thrown in there.
Well, we'll find something fun to do for your birthday.
Okay, great. Yay, you guys. This was so much fun. Plans made. Woohoo.
This episode of the IntelleXual Podcast has been brought to you by Audible.com. Audible.com has over 100,000 titles for you to download and listen to on your iPad, iPhone, Android, or really any mobile MP3 device that you might have. So if you're into audiobooks and you are looking for the absolute best, show your support for the IntelleXual by signing up for an Audible trial at audibletrial.com/TIN. That's audibletrial.com/TIN. And show your support for the IntelleXual Network by signing up for the free trial with Audible.com.